Hello and welcome to DevOps interview questions and answer when preparation video. Now, before I start this video, I want to let you know one of the services that I'm offering, that is DevOps Daily Task. So what is DevOps Daily Task? A lot of the students who have practiced DevOps, they are not sure how it is implemented, right? And they lack a schedule in which they can perform some activities. If you don't have a schedule and if you don't have tasks to do like in real time, then it is not possible for you to understand how the real world DevOps system works. This doesn't need to be an actual task. This can be reading about something or practicing something, right? So here I'm experimenting a new way of teaching you. So what is it? It is DevOps daily tasks. So if you see the screen, you can observe that I have prepared some tasks, right? Now this is just a sample. Now how does it work? I will be preparing this dashboard for each and every students individually, okay? And you're going to get some task. Now, if you are someone who wants to follow a schedule, if you are someone who wants to concentrate on a given path, then this particular roadmap will help you. Now, how does it completely work? What if you have doubts and questions? What will happen when you complete a task? To know more about this, don't hesitate. Kindly reach out to me via WhatsApp, the number that you can see on the screen. You can reach out to me. We can discuss about your requirement, and the roadmap will be designed as per each and every student. It will not be a common roadmap. So maybe you're good at something. So those tasks we will not be discussing. The task can be about reading something. It can be a YouTube video that I will tell you to watch. It can be a task I will tell you to perform. So it is kind of a real world example. Now, this is an experiment, as I said. So if you're also interested, you can reach out to me via the WhatsApp number that we can see, and we can discuss further how this can be helpful. Okay, now that I have shared this information, let's go ahead and see what kind of interview questions will come in this video. So this is basically a question that is coming from DevOps culture. And the question is, what are some key DevOps KPIs that you monitor in your team today? What are some key DevOps KPIs that you are monitoring in your team today? So what is a KPI? A lot of students ask me this question. So first, let me explain what is a KPI, and then I'll explain what are the meanings of these KPIs. KPI stands for Key Performance Indicator. So we will take a car, right? Now we have a car that has some mileage, right? So this is a performance indicator, right? This is a KPI. What is the mileage of the car? How long can the car go with a given number of diesel or gas? Another key performance indicator can be the tire life cycle. So if you have, let us say, a particular tire, MRF, and how long does it come for this particular car? This is also called as a key performance indicator. Being in the DevOps world, how will you perform, how will you monitor and calculate your performance indicator? That is what the question is focusing on. So KPI stands for Key Performance Indicator. And three performance indicator that every DevOps team will take a look into is deployment frequency, percentage of failed deployments, and mean time to failure recovery. Deployment frequency can be, let's say you have a Jenkins setup, right? Now, how frequently you are deploying into the production system. This is one KPI, okay? One KPI. The next KPI can be, out of all of this deployment that is happening via Jenkins, do we have some failures, right? This is failure to deploy to production. This is a second KPI. So imagine if you have 30 deployments that is getting done, and out of this 20 are getting to production and 10 are failing. So you can come to know your performance, right? You can get a percentage of the deployment frequency here, And it is very clear on where you have to improve the system to avoid failures. Okay. And the third one is basically mean time to failure recovery. Okay. So for this example, let me take a microservice that is deployed in Kubernetes. Now, if the pods go down, what will happen? The API will also go down, right? API is also down if all the pods go down. So how fast did this API recover? API recover is the term for mean time to failure recovery. So these are the three terminologies that has to be monitored for a given DevOps team to indicate how the DevOps team is performing. Okay. So how do you answer this question if it is asked in the interview? This is how you can answer this question if it is asked in the interview. Quote, from what I know, KPIs stand for key performance indicators. The three KPIs that our team is currently monitoring are deployment frequency, percentage of failed deployments, and mean time to failure recovery. Deployment frequency is nothing but how often are we deploying successfully to production. Percentage of failed deployments is nothing but out of these deployments that is happening to production, how many of them are failing. And mean time to recovery is nothing but the services that we own. If they go down, how fast are we recovering? Based on these three key metrics, we try to improve our system and the process to achieve better DevOps lifecycle model in our company. Unquote. This is how you can present this particular answer in the interview. I hope this is very clear. Let us go to the next question now. And the next question is coming from the domain GitHub. And the question is, what is the difference between Git Fetch and Git Pull? So these are two commands, right? Git Fetch is a command and Git Pull is a command. So what is the difference between Git Fetch and Git Pull? I'm pretty much sure many of you are already aware of this. This is a very, very fundamental question. So let us try to discuss this first. So we have Git Fetch and we have Git Pull. What is the difference? Difference is very simple. So we will take the first step. Let us say we do Git clone. Right? The Git clone is going to get all the files and clone the repository for us. Clone the repo for us. Okay. Now, if you do Git fetch, what will happen? And when would you do Git fetch? And what is the reason you have to do Git fetch is very important. Now, Git fetch and Git pull usually in a lot of companies people only do Git pull, but Git fetch is a command that tells you your local Git to retrieve the latest metadata info from the original. Okay, latest metadata from original or master branch. You can call them master branch. You might not perform Git fetch a lot, but we should know what it is. Okay. On the other hand, in Git pull, it brings all the changes that was applied on the remote repository. Okay, remote repo. So maybe you git clone the repository like I said earlier, and somebody applied some changes, right? So if you run get pull, it is going to fetch all this information into the system, into your local repository. So you are updated. Okay. So you can do git fetch at any time to update your remote tracking of your branch. Okay. So this operation that you're performing, that is with Git fetch, will never change your local branch. Okay, it will never change your local branch. It is safe to perform, and Git pull will actually update your local branch, and it is going to get all the changes that is present in the remote repository. Fine. So I hope you have understood Git fetch and Git pull. Now, if this question is asked in the interview, how would you answer it? Very simple. Okay, this is how you can answer it. Quote. Well, the difference for Git fetch and Git pull is very small. To begin with, I would like to say that I have not used Git fetch a lot because I don't see the use of it in a day-to-day work. But from what I know, Git Fetch will update the metadata from the master branch, and this can be done at any time. It is no harm for me. Wherein Git Pull I perform very oftenly whenever my remote branch doesn't have the updates from the original branch. That is, if a file got changed, not metadata, right? If a file got changed, if an IAM policy got changed, etc., and I want to update my local branch also with all of the changes that have been performed from the original branch, then I do Git pull, unquote. This is how you can present this particular answer in the interview. Well then, that is it for this video. Speak to you in the next video. Till then, take care.